Today is the 19th anniversary of the attacks on America, when 19 men hijacked 4 airplanes and changed the world forever. 19 radical Muslims, filled with hate and an unquenchable desire to subjugate all others, non-Muslims as well as Muslims they consider unfaithful, tried to bring down America by bringing down its symbols of freedom. They failed, except many now say it's racist to point out the racist aspects of Islam and try to silence any who dare speak the truth about it. Sadly, in many places, this date has become hijacked by those who want to make it racist and bigoted to remember who did it and why. In fact, just about everything today has become about race. It's as if the fight for civil rights for Black Americans, much less 9/11, never happened. The civil rights struggle happened and was necessary because it wasn't just a fight for the civil rights of Black Americans, but for the soul of a country that continued to segregate and mistreat one whole group of citizens because of the singularly insignificant distinction of skin color. Contempt and hatred for others must be exposed to the truth to be excised. The civil rights movement succeeded because it exposed the heart of hatred without replicating it. 9/11 reminds us that hatred is always there, a corrosive force that destroys us from the inside out and must never be allowed to grow in our hearts. And if we listen to the words of the rioters and their supporters today, we hear that same kind of hatred for others and face a relentless effort to silence those who would expose it by the light of truth. Now let me be clear, this isn't a call for political debate, but for all of us to take some time today to reflect on the evil of hating others just because they are different from us, and to promise to never let that spirit inhabit our heart and soul. With that in mind, it's appropriate that today we come to the issue of race and religion in the book of Ruth. Ruth was a Moabite woman who had been married to an Israelite. Israelites were not supposed to associate with, much less marry, a Moabite, Deuteronomy 23, verses 3 through 8. The text explains that it was because of how Moab treated Israel as they prepared to enter the Promised Land. Also, there was a significant religious difference. Moab was a pagan nation, and marriage to pagans almost always led to Israelites abandoning God to worship pagan gods. So any way we look at it, there would be a stigma associated with a marriage to Ruth. Fortunately, Naomi and her son overlooked the stigma. And when Ruth left home to go with Naomi, she voluntarily abandoned her pagan deities to worship God, Ruth 1, verse 16. That decision made it easier for the people of Bethlehem as a whole, and Boaz in particular, to rise above that prejudice, risk the stigma, and accept Ruth with open arms. That's a great example to all New Testament Christians today. We must rise above all prejudicial hatred for any human being and disregard any societal stigma of showing our concern for others, even those with whom we have profound differences. After all, Israel's acceptance of a foreign woman was critical to God's plan because Ruth was a link in the lineage of the Christ. And since Jesus left heaven to hang out with us sinners, how dare we lift ourselves above any other sinners? Philippians 2, verses 5 to 11. Of course, that doesn't mean we join with sinners in their sin. Ruth left her paganism, and Jesus remained sinless so he could lift sinners out of their sin. To follow his example, we must rise above all sin, including the sin of hatred for the sinner. It won't be easy, but it's worth it. Well, thanks for watching today's Morning Minutes in the Bible on the 19th anniversary of 9/11. Until tomorrow, this is James McClenny hoping you have a great day.